Hey guys, Peter Chen here, making another 500 Zoom video. I'm making weekly videos, so if you enjoy it, please subscribe. On table 2, this hand, uh, I think it's a fold, but I'm tempted to call with the short stack. I'm not sure if the short stack is a bad player, actually, so just going to fold. I think this 8-9 gets to raise small amount of the time. Going to fold it this time. On table 2, opening the button with Jack-9 suited. And on table 1, opening hijack with Ace-Jack off. So this flop is one where I want to be betting for a medium size, checking back sometimes. I think having a jack with a decent kicker, I almost never want to be checking back. But now that I have second pair, I think I'm mostly checking back on the turn. And two pair should be good enough to go for value, even on the fourth straight board. Most of his straights will be betting themselves. Still a bunch of kings and jacks in his range that can call. Or not kings and jacks, but jacks and whatever the lower pair was. So on table 1, we're facing a min 3 bet. Now against this 4 bet, I just have to fold. On table 2, I'll be calling this. 10-9 off, blind versus blind, and on the flop, I'll be checking this back a very small percent of the time, but mostly I'll just be betting my strong hands. On table 1, opening cutoff with Queen 7 suited. Against the lead, I'm not sure about what his range is, but my hand is just too good to fold, I think. I do think he's pretty polar when he leads, so it's going to have a lot of ace-x or hands that just can't call. On table 1, I opened button, big blind called, check on the flop, big blind bet the turn. I think I want to raise this hand. I have a decent hand to raise, but I don't have that many strong hands in my range. I should actually have a lot of flushes. I'll be betting some of my flush draws on the flop, but I think most of them go down this line. That's likely a bluff I could have missed if I wasn't thinking too hard about it. On table 2, I'm going to be opening 10-8 suited from under the gun. And I'll be folding to this 3-bet, I think. Actually seems pretty close. With the backdoor straight, backdoor flush draw, I think I have to call the flop as well. Now I have an actual straight draw and an actual flush draw. Not going anywhere here. And now I have to fold my 10 high. On table 2, opening cutoff with king queen offsuit. On table 1, opening hijack with ace jack off. On table 2, opening button with ace 10 suited. This hand is pretty close on this flop. I do want to be checking it back a lot. And on the turn, I have pretty close to the top of my range. So I'll start betting this. And same thing on the river. I'll be going for 2 streets with a hand that's pretty close to the best I can have. I will have hit a bunch of 2 pairs, but most of my range is going to be ace-x. On table 2, I opened king queen suited, got called by the big blind. I'm going to be checking back a lot on this flop, and now on the turn, hitting my hand, I'll be betting. On table 2, opening button with 9-7 suited. On table 2, opening hijack with ace-king offsuit. On table 1, opening button with ace-7 suited. Table 2, opening small blind with 8-7 offsuit. So I flop a flush here, but I'm on a board where I don't want to be betting very often. So I'll be checking this back. I want to make sure that I don't just always bet my good hands. Now that I've checked back, going to be putting in some bets. On table 2, opening under the gun with 8-9 suited. And going to fold to this 3-bet. Definitely folding to the 4-bet. On table 1, calling big blind with Queen 3 suited. If I had a bit more connectedness on this flop, it would be a decent hand to continue. Like maybe even if I had Jack 3. On table 2, opening hijack with King 8 suited. And on table 1, opening ace king off. On table 2, button opens. I'll be 3-betting the small blind with ace jack suited, or ace jack offsuit. This is a flop where when I'm betting, I'll be betting big. My hand plays pretty well as a check as well. But I'll be betting this time. So when I hit a jack, I think I want to continue betting. Most of the hands I'm getting value from they're just medium strength hands that will check back. On table 1, 3-betting 10-9 suited, small blind against cutoff. Now I think most of those hands I was thinking about, like the 9x, 8x draws, improved a lot. I might still get called by King Jack or Queen Jack, but I don't think that's enough hands, especially if he doesn't have the offsuit ones. On table 1, I'll mostly be 3-betting this hand. And now I could either bet or check. Mostly checking, I think. From the big blind where we're mostly 3-betting with a polarized range, the ace just doesn't hit as hard compared to the other spots where we're going to be 3-betting a lot of suited aces, offsuit aces. I think when I hit a 10, I can just shove. It's a little less than 3x pot. Or just about 3x pot. I think he still has some ace-x in his range, and we're not going to be facing a bet very often, so check raising isn't that great. And we're just targeting a hero call. On table 2, opening pocket kings from hijack. And on table 1, 3-betting jacks, small blind against under the gun. So unlike the last hand, the ace hits the small blind super hard. So we'll just be starting off with a bet. And with the kings, I'll be 4-betting. On table 2, I could 3-bet this sometimes, call sometimes. Once it goes check, check, I think I want to be checking back almost all the time with my range. So this hand is probably not great to be betting with. But strong enough to call this min bet for sure. I'm I'm thinking about leading this. I think how this played out, I'm not going to be facing a bet very often. The min bet's just a lot of middle strength hands. On table 2, I open jacks and call the 3-bet. I'll be calling again on the flop. And I'll be checking back jacks on the turn. On table 2, opening 10-8 suited from hijack. I'm somewhat tempted to bet these jacks. I'm just thinking whether ace queen, king queen would bet from his side. So I think if those hands would bet, then my hand's a pretty good bet itself, since I can still get called by tens, ace 9. I'm really not sure what he's going to do with those hands, though. If he checks those hands on the river, then I'm just going to be running into better hands too often to be able to bet for value. With this queen 9, I'm going to be mostly 3-betting. Folding to the 4-bet. On table 1, opening button with ace 9 off. On table 1, 3-betting with aces. Table 2, I'll be folding this ace jack to the 3-bet. We have the king 8 on table 1. Hopefully we can open it. And on table 2, we open kings from hijack at 3-bet. We'll be 4-betting this. So I think we're going to be betting very small here on the 773. Not sure about this. Actually, I think I'm polarized, so I want to be betting a little bit bigger. Still not going huge. Wow, with such low SPR, it's going to be a lot of very small sizes. My hand is basically the nuts in a spot where I have a lot of nutted hands and I have a lot of pretty weak hands as well. I could be running this bluff with some kind of ace-x or king, queen, king 10, something like that. So he hits his flush on the river and is still no good. On table 1, defending big blind with queen 6 suited. We flop pretty well. I think it's going to be hard to be defending on this flop without doing a lot of raising. So I'll go ahead and put in a tiny raise. Very hard to have calling hands here when most of what we have is just hands like this, or even worse, like lower flush draws, backdoor draws. And I'll just continue betting. I'm not sure if this is right. Maybe my hand can check call and prefers to check call, but we can make a lot of king high and queen high fold. It's just that we have worse hands that would benefit more from that. On table 1, opening button with ace-8 offsuit. And I'll be betting small here. Could do some checking back with my specific hand. And I'll be ending the video soon, but yeah, just folding to this raise. I was saying I was ending the video soon, but not before opening these rake back chests. We got some money here. $10 free sports bet. I'll make sure to bet that and turn it into $0. And $10 worth of stars coins. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next week.